Hi, it's Lane75 and welcome to Elite Dangerous on the Legacy version on Xbox. And while I do some mining in game, I would like to thank Commander Dark Owl for doing some salt mining, which worked out wonderfully for me. As Dark Owl was up in Shinny and him and Indica were bullying an anaconda around the station. Now the anaconda chose to combat log to get out of the situation rather than do anything else. Now, to get in the situation this guy got himself in, you've made some poor decisions along the way. You're in the bigger ship so you can low wake very easily. You've let yourself get depleted to this much hull and you're in the mass lock area around a station. Things must have gone really wrong for a decent amount of time for this to have happened. Unless you're in a ridiculous explorer build that can get killed in one hit. But I doubt that. But he chose the combat log rather than escape legitimately using the in-game legitimate tactics like low waking or high waking away from the situation. And if you found yourself in Shinrata Desert, this is about the only station on Xbox where this is going to happen to you. This is the only place on Xbox where people are likely to come after you in this way. Maybe here and Farseer base in Desia. They're pretty much the only locations on Xbox where you're going to get this sort of treatment. So to be up here, like, logging, it's probably the worst place to do it because clearly you've taken some bad steps.
He's gone.
So that's the log, and then we get into the salt mining with the messages back and forth between Dark Owl and this commander, in which this commander does all the classic things that we see from all combat loggers: make excuses, blame everyone else, and then make vague threats. Always the same, always quite hilarious. So prepare yourself.
Oh shit, here we go again.
Now I knew I was on for a good one when they've waited that long to respond to Al's message from 5 PM. They've stewed for a while before messaging back, and then because Al hasn't responded within the hour, they've messaged again. So I thought this was going to get amusing, so I grabbed the popcorn and sat down to read through all the messages that Al and this gentleman had backwards and forwards. And Al states the very, very obvious that logging is cheating. As we know, it's one of the few things you can do in Elite Dangerous on the Xbox version that's cheating. I don't think this guy cares about cheating. We'll see from his later comments that he really doesn't care about cheating in video games. He's quite openly admitting it. And then of course we got the now he's blaming someone else. Because of what you were doing, I chose to cheat. So it's your fault I cheated. No, it's your choice to cheat. And when Al says about playing in solo, he comes back with the classic, don't tell me how to play the game. Al's not telling you how to play the game, he's simply pointing out that if you were in solo or private group, you wouldn't have had the player interaction that led you to combat log, so you could avoid cheating. You're doing one thing that's against the game's terms of service and the rules of the game, which is cheating, and so Al's just pointing out that, like, if you don't want to be involved with other players or have people ramming you around the station, private group and solo is the way to go. Obviously this person doesn't agree with that and thinks that if anyone rams him outside of the station, he's allowed to combat log. Well, I think you'll find. Now I don't know for certain, but I suspect this gentleman was boosted up to this amount of credits. He's elite in trade, but not elite in the other two things. He is someone who's chasing big ships with no understanding of how the game mechanics work or how to evade danger. This is a danger with the way the game is these days. People just try and get the biggest ships possible without realizing how to play the game, and they think that it's a legitimate tactic to cheat so people can't kill them. It makes them invincible and invulnerable, but it makes them look really dumb.
Bill, woo! I am invincible! Invincible! You. Oh!
The problem with bragging about cheating to make yourself invincible is people are going to take offense at that and they're going to come after you and try and kill you before you can get to combat log. And trust me, it can happen. Pirate Org's particularly skilled at killing combat loggers before they can escape from that. So, you open up yourself to those sort of attacks because you make a name for yourself as someone who's going to cheat and then brag about being invincible through cheating. So not only are you cheating, openly admitting you're cheating, you're also bragging about cheating. That's not going to go down well with people. People don't like that. And this people is one of the ones I've got to say, this was a refreshing change. Normally people who don't openly admit to cheating that often, but when they openly admit to cheating on every game, I have to say,
that makes a refreshing change.
all my games I find a way to cheat, and he's bragging about that. It's kind of embarrassing, and you're kind of cheating yourself if you can't beat a game legitimately, but prepare yourself for the threat inbound. My friends would have made your experience a living hell. Yeah, this is so cringe. It's... The truly cringe and embarrassing thing is these friends generally never turn up and never exist in the first place. And someone who makes those sort of desperate threats is just embarrassing. It's really, really sad. And I don't know why people get that mad. It's only pixels, a rebuy isn't that much. Anyway, that's all. Thank you very much for watching, and remember...
No, it's only a game. Why you have to be mad?